In this video, I'm describing some directions for my modern physics students when they're finishing the topics in Chapter 5. And the topics in Chapter 5 include what are called steps or step potentials, as well as barrier potentials. And an interesting thing that happens at the end of Chapter 5 in step potentials and barrier potentials is the inclusion of time dependence, where the time dependence just comes with this really weird factor, e to the minus I omega t. So the time dependence is kind of simple to add. You just you tack on this prefactor, or this factor, this time dependent factor, where omega is e over h bar, like this. You can see this in your book. But so this is what you're studying. You're essentially trying to build a Schrodinger equation. So you've with one of these types of potentials. And it gives you regions to think about the wave functions. So regions for wave functions, really similar to what you did in your earlier efforts with like the finite well and the infinite well. So you're finishing the topics in Chapter 5. This is what's going on. You're looking at time dependence, but also I'll put this in here. You're looking at probabilities as well, and also something about transmission and reflection. So go and see what I mean, or I'm pretty sure the book describes transmission and reflection, especially through a barrier. Okay, so for homework associated with finishing these topics in Chapter 5, it's only just 2 problems. So in Chapter 5, there are these problems, number 27 and number 29, just the 2 of them. And they get you to explore a lot of these issues, including continuity of wave functions and thinking about coefficients, or coefficient, I'll say coefficient selection or choice. So that's what these homework problems are associated with. Why don't you go check them out? Like, do this reading, check out these homework problems. And then in this next video I'm about to make, I'm going to make some what I call stepping stones. So I think stepping has 2 P's. So I'll make this stepping stones video next, and it'll just show up right after this video. Sorry for the informality of this. I'm not quite sure what to do. But I will put in this. I'm going to try this out in front of you right now. If I show you, this is I hope the reflection off you can see the lamp that I'm using to illuminate the ideas here. But anyways, this is your Canvas website for the class. You can see there's not much to it, but I just filled in this. This is new. And if you click in here, I put in some goals. Like this is what I think Chapter 5 is trying to get you to learn to do, these learning goals. It's kind of like the student learning outcomes idea. And then I've put all of the suggested homework here. So before we had the school closure, there were these 4 problems. They were in like homework number 8. They were your first problems from chapter 5. And then in previous videos, I assigned these 6 problems here. Please make sure you go and you really work through these and be really thoughtful about them. I still have to make a quiz that maybe checks your work in a few of these problems, but I'll also make a quiz that checks, or I'll make quiz questions that check these problems that I just assigned just now. But you can go onto Canvas and find this. I'll also, actually, I should have done this. I'll make an edit in a second where I add links to these videos that I'm making right now, and I'll do that in the future for the other topics and chapters. Okay, so yeah, so I'm gonna stop this video now and make a stepping stones video and post them.